Some air under it, wide open is Ruggs for the touchdown. Miraculous.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the J-Talkshow. Let's get right to it. So we're going to go ahead and do a Week 13 recap of all my picks. From there, we're going to go to the Week 14 picks for this week. We're going to go... the third topic is going to be what's going on with the Chargers, who's going to be the head coach of the future in 2021, and finally, I took it upon myself to do a little mock draft 1.0 all along for the Los Angeles Chargers. You guys are going to be very surprised on who I was able to grab 7th overall for you true football fans. Without further ado, though, let's jump right into the Week 13 recap. I went 12-3. The 3 L's that I took were the Seahawks against the Giants, the Steelers losing surprisingly against the Washington football team, and lastly, the 49ers taking the fattest L on Monday Night Football against the Bills. But 12-3 is not bad. That's the best week I've had the whole season, and I'm going to look to build on top of that and perhaps hit that 80% range for correct picks. Moving on to Week 14, this is going to be the quickest 5-minute recap on what to expect this week. I'm going to try to keep it short, sweet, and simple, so let's get right to it. We got the Thursday night game tomorrow. New England Patriots taking on the first place NFC West Rams. I love the Patriots rushing attack. We're going to go ahead and stick with the Pats here. They're going to go ahead and upset the Los Angeles Rams tomorrow. Moving on. Houston Texans taking on the Chicago Bears. Battle of the 2017 NFL quarterback draft class. Deshaun Watson, Mitchell Trubisky. The Bears are probably kicking themselves for not taking Deshaun Watson. And they're going to be kicking themselves because Deshaun Watson's going to be running all over that Chicago Bears defense. Texans win this one convincingly. Staying with the Texas teams, we're going to be moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Both teams have gone through quarterback woes. Both teams have underperformed this year, but I expect a winner. There's going to be no ties in this game. Fingers crossed. I have the Dallas Cowboys taking the W on this one. Andrew Dalton facing his former team. I love the matchup. I love the storyline, and that's why we all love football. Moving on to the next game, we have the Chiefs taking on the Miami Dolphins. Upset alert, beep, beep. I have the Miami Dolphins taking the win here. They're going to deal the Chiefs their second loss of the season. You guys are like, no way, Chiefs are riding high. I'm telling you. I told you last week with the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans, and I'm telling you this week, Miami Dolphins are going to take it to the Kansas City Chiefs. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals taking on the New York Giants. I know the G-men are riding high on upsetting my Seattle Seahawks, but that high is going to take a nosedive into the ground. The Cardinals are going to come up with the win here. I love Kyler Murray in this matchup. Look for him to bounce back. He's had a turnover in the last 3 games in a row. I think that ends here. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are fresh off a bye week. Tom Brady is one of the best quarterbacks in December in NFL history. Not to mention he's already thrown 28 touchdowns this year. Not really an off year. I think it's actually better than what it was last year, and that's why I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win this game convincingly. Next matchup, we got a battle between 2 teams who are having quarterback woes. Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos. I expect the Carolina Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater to come out on top of this matchup. Hopefully they get Christian McCaffrey back. Nonetheless, though, the money line score right now, the spread's even. Go ahead and run with the Panthers here. I can totally see them just really taking it to the Denver Broncos. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans fresh off that fat loss against the Cleveland Browns, taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also experienced a heartbreaking loss of their own. And I think those heartbreaking losses for the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to continue. Look for Derrick Henry to have a monster game against that Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Next game is the game of the week, in my opinion. We got the Las Vegas Raiders, almost called them Oakland Raiders, taking on the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to be a tough matchup for both teams. Both are talented Raiders, they underperform at times. I don't see that happening here. They're going to step up to the challenge. They're going to get it done. Raiders are going to win this weekend, beating the Colts in a true close game fashion like they typically do. The Cardiac Kids 2.0. Next matchup is the lock of the week for me. I have the Green Bay Packers dismantling the Detroit Lions. Aaron Rodgers is going to go off. I know Matthew Stafford, I feel so bad for him. Wasted career in Detroit. They wasted Barry Sanders' career. I guess it's just in the genes. It's sad. It's unfortunate. Unless they could get some good players around Matthew Stafford, even this late in his career, and a good coaching staff, I just don't see anything turning his career around. Nonetheless, though, we're going to stay focused on this game. Packers are going to get it done. Lock of the week. Packers win this one. Guaranteed. Put money on it. Do what you wish. Put your mortgage on it. I'm kidding. Don't do that. That's irresponsible gambling. I don't condone that. Next matchup, we have the Seattle Seahawks, my Seattle Seahawks, taking on the New York Jets, the winless New York Jets. And those winless woes continue. They're going to move to 0-13 after taking an L against my Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson, look for him to bounce back after a lackluster 3 weeks. Please. This is a winnable game. There's no reason why the Seahawks should lose this one. Moving on to the next game, we have the Carson Wentz-less Eagles taking on the Drew Brees-less Saints. Looks like Jalen Hurts has been given the reins to this train. Now, this train's going to get derailed, unfortunately. Taysom Hill is going to have an even better game than Jalen Hurts will. Look for this to be a closely contested matchup, but I am going to take the young gun from Oklahoma. Not Jalen Hurts. I'm taking Taysom Hill, the former BYU Cougar, to take the W. Sorry, Jalen Hurts. Big fan. Probably not going to take the dub this weekend. Next matchup, we got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Los Angeles Chargers. A matchup between two teams that can't hold a lead. I know. Crazy, right? I'm going to go ahead and take the Atlanta Falcons here. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, you name it. Hopefully Todd Gurley and Julio are healthy. If they are, look for the Falcons to steamroll the Los Angeles Chargers. We have the Washington football team taking on the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco 49ers are without a home right now. They're having to play in Glendale, Arizona due to the whole stay-at-home order. Them not being allowed back in San Francisco. It's a mess. And this mess is going to continue because they're going to take another L, this time against the Washington football team, who are riding high right now on a very impressive win against an undefeated Steelers team. Shout out to them. Nobody wanted to see the Steelers go 16-0. At least me. Sunday night matchup, compelling matchup. Two playoff caliber teams. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming at 11-1, taking on the Buffalo Bills at 9-3. I have the Buffalo Bills taking the win. Both have solid defenses, but one has had a consistently great offense, and that is Josh Allen and company. Sean McDermott, head coach of the year candidate without a doubt. Amazing stuff he's done in Buffalo, and it's so good to see them back in the playoff race. It's been a long time coming since they've been relevant, and we're going to see Bills Mafia just at a new all-time high. And finally, with the last matchup of Week 14, we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. Both teams coming off impressive wins. In my opinion, the Browns win was definitely more impressive than the Ravens because the Browns actually faced a future playoff team, the Titans. And with that being said, I feel like Baker Mayfield's going to have another great game. He's going to really step it up in the month of December. I'm calling it right now. He could very possibly go 3-1 or even 4-0. We'll see what happens. I have the Cleveland Browns beating the Ravens here. I know they're not favorited right now. They're actually a 1-point underdog. Look for that point spread to go even this week. And when that's the case, you jump all over that Browns bet. Wow. All right. That probably was just slightly over 5 minutes. But we're going to go ahead and move on to my next subject. What is going on with the Chargers right now? 45-0. Absolute embarrassment. I think I could speak on not only behalf of football fans, but Charger fans alike. There's still so many of them in the city of San Diego. Fingers crossed that they end up coming back to San Diego. They are misplaced in Los Angeles. They don't belong. They just need to come back. Ownership needs to sell that team to some big shot here in San Diego, whether it's a group of owners or a guy that can just pull, I don't know, a billionaire. Let's find a billionaire that wants to bring a team to San Diego. They just don't have any identity. And it starts with ownership, and then it transcends into the GM, and then it hits the coaches, and then the players. It's just a trickle-down effect. With that being said, here are my 3 candidates that I would like to see in that powder blue and yellow next year. The first being a reunion with Eric Bieniemy and the Chargers. If you guys don't remember, for you true football fans, you'll know that Eric Bieniemy was a backup running back in the 90s during the Chargers' heyday when they made the Super Bowl. So he has some connections there. He's currently the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, leading one of the most potent offensive attacks throughout the league. That would just be a great reunion, and I'd love to see the development he'd have for Justin Herbert, he seems like a franchise quarterback, even though last week wasn't really a great indicator of that. Don't let one game miscue of what this kid has the potential of doing. Second candidate that I wouldn't mind seeing is Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers. Perhaps a little premature. I feel like he's climbing the ranks pretty fast, so I feel like this one would be a little bit of a stretch. Carolina, they're still kind of in a rebuilding phase right now, in my opinion. They're a quarterback away from being contenders again, and I think they're one solid defensive member away from really making those Super Bowl push like they did years ago with Cam Newton and company. We'll see what happens. I feel like that Joe Brady one's probably the least likely. And my dark horse candidate, I'm a huge fan of this man. Quarterback, University, the O, Oklahoma, OU, baby. Lincoln Riley, the head coach, the quarterback whisperer. I'd love to see him get his hands on Justin Herbert. And just the immense talent that he's just had at the quarterback position or flipped or whatever he's done, he has some magic. I'd like for him to sprinkle some of that magic onto Justin Herbert. We'll see what happens in the next coming weeks. It doesn't look like they're going to get rid of Anthony Lynn quite yet, and rightfully so. He seems like a player's coach. I wouldn't mind him staying with the organization in some capacity, perhaps getting demoted to a running back coach. But like we all know in the NFL, when you usually get rid of a head coach, you're firing him completely. I think it's really rare if you just demote him. But that should be something they look into. He's definitely a good coach. I just don't think he's ready for that type of spotlight yet. All right, everybody, so we're going to go ahead and go through the mock draft 1.0 for the Los Angeles Chargers. We have the offensive tackle from Oregon, Penei Sewell, getting taken by the Chargers in this simulation, 7th overall. In real life, I don't see him dropping that far. He's just one of the most outstanding offensive line prospects we've seen in recent years. Todd Murnovich type hype. Hopefully a lot better than Todd Murnovich himself during the NFL. But that's the level of hype that's coming along with Penei Sewell. Second round pick, we got Trey Smith, former left tackle for Tennessee, now moved to interior offensive line. He's kind of all over the place. He's their best offensive lineman by far. Now we're going with the second round pick, and we're going to have Jubba Herbert, running back, Oklahoma State. He was an All-American last year. A little bit of a down year this year, just simply because, well, statistically, compared to last year, down year. For obvious reasons, you got a shortened season with COVID. I don't really pay too much mind with these stats this year, just with all the games getting canceled, rescheduled. I just like to see day-to-day, game-to-game performances. And I got to take the comment I said back. He hasn't had a down year. It's just statistically, compared to last year, it's nowhere in. It's not even the same atmosphere. But it was due to it's due to the COVID season. It's COVID season, shortened season. It's not fun. How did they obtain another second round pick? You may ask. Well, the Chargers made a slight trade. They traded away KJ Hill, 3rd, 4th, and a 7th. to acquire that second round pick. In this simulation, they're picking 14th overall in the second round. Moving on to the 5th round pick, and it's my number one draft sleeper. I've been following this man the past 2 years, and he is named Warren Jackson, the 6'6 product out of Colorado State. Absolute stud, and it's a great value pick here. The Chargers definitely need a wide receiver 3. They have a wide receiver 1 in Keenan Allen. They have a wide receiver 2 in Mike Williams. Why not add a guy in the interior like Warren Jackson? He's got good route running. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but he definitely has pretty solid hands, and he has good route running ability. Love to see what him and Justin Herbert could do, and it just adds depth to that already pretty deep wide receiver class. The 6th round pick they take is Jake Ferguson, tight end from Wisconsin. Numbers are not too eye-popping, around 12 receptions for 180 yards, 4 touchdowns though. 4 touchdowns to me, that is what stands out to me the most. But with this in mind, we're going to see what happens. Tight ends, I feel, this year, aside from Kyle Pitts from Florida, not that deep. And to round it out, the Chargers with the last pick of their draft. This would be the 6th overall, picking 21st. Or 6th round, 21st overall. It's Cameron Dickers, a kicker from Texas. Michael Badgley hasn't been that consistent this year. He's definitely had some kicking woes. And what better way to fix those than to add some competition, especially grabbing a kicker from my personal favorite kicking college, Texas. Produced Justin Tucker. It's produced just all around good kickers and punters. Michael Dickinson was another one. He has a boot. He has an absolute boot for a leg. We're going to see what happens. This is my mock draft 1.0. I feel like with these moves and with the coaches I stated earlier, I feel like this would lead the Chargers in the right direction. They really want to get back to the ultimate right direction. They'll definitely move back here to San Diego. I know it may take a little bit of hit on their finances, but they're loved here still. Ownership, not so much. We need them back here. Everybody, I just want to thank you again for listening to my Week 14 NFL edition of my YouTube videos. Please tune in for the next couple weeks. I will be dropping more videos weekly. Definitely keep an eye on the picks too. If you guys make bets or anything, I know I got a lot of friends in Indiana. Sports betting's legal over there. Go ahead and take advantage of that. Hopefully, I have another 12-3 week, so you'll probably be winning some good money if you do some parlays, whatever you guys want to do. But nonetheless, I just want to thank you guys again. For those who view this, like it, support it, and subscribe to me, I appreciate it. I'm small time right now. I'm looking to be big time eventually. This is something I have a true passion for. And, we're going to see how this goes. But I just want to thank everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe weekend. Have a wonderful, safe rest of your Wednesday night. This is Jonathan Velasquez signing off from the J-Talk Show.